Welcome guys, welcome back to another video in our channel. Welcome back to a weekly review, a weekly podcast, and there's a lot to talk about, for the Enzo Fernandez transfer rumors, to the Rodrygo transfer rumors, to Chelsea's versus Newcastle preview, to even a huge news that has just happened here. I don't know if it's a positive news or it's a negative news. Who's going to referee Chelsea versus Newcastle? What pundits have talked about when it comes to Chelsea's chances of getting the Champions League. Manchester City's crucial victory over Bournemouth that just puts them a point from the Champions League, and De Bruyne's departure from Manchester City. There's just a lot to talk about. But first of all, before we even start this video, I would kindly like to ask those who might watch our videos but have not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. We do a lot of content. We do podcasts, we do live streams, and we do tactical analysis. The match preview for the Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest will drop tomorrow, latest on Friday, but most likely it will drop tomorrow. But today, I want us to talk about some crucial things. And the first thing that I want us to talk about is the weekly update. And first thing that has just come to me, guess what? And this is going to shock a lot of you. And let me just share it with you. Here it is. Anthony Taylor will referee Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest. Anthony Taylor is going to be the referee for Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest. This is such a huge news, huge news, because we know very well Anthony Taylor's attitude towards Chelsea. We know very well Anthony Taylor's refereeing decisions against Chelsea in crucial matches. This has just made that game for Chelsea away at Nottingham Forest even 3 times harder, because now you have a referee who has a vendetta against Chelsea. That is the perception out there. I really don't know that. However, it's also quite interesting that this season, the games that Anthony Taylor has refed for Chelsea have won all of them. That is actually the positive side. Majority of the games that Anthony Taylor has refed for Chelsea this season, Chelsea have won majority of them. And can that actually be a winning signal for the game that is going to happen this weekend? But also remember Anthony Taylor. Remember the Kovacic red card. Remember the Emi Martinez handball. Remember the goal that we conceded when we lost the FA Cup to Arsenal in Antonio Conte's era. He has been a controversial figure, just to be honest. He's been a controversial figure. However, it is even making the game tougher for Chelsea. We've had Thomas Tuchel even saying that there is a level of perception that the players have of him. There is a way that players even regard him actually looking to try and referee Chelsea's games. And people are even, I'm looking at the comments and people are talking about, here we go back to the Europa League, probably even the Conference League. Oh my God. Others are even talking about how the season has ended. It's just, Chelsea have the odds against them. You're playing away from home. You have one referee who always gives you wrong decisions. You have a referee who gives you most yellow cards, even at sometimes red cards. Chelsea have to do this against all odds. Your starting striker carelessly took a red card towards a rival, and now you don't even know who's going to play as a striker in that game. Oh my God. The odds are just against Chelsea in that game. Winning that game would be a miracle. Winning that game would be a miracle to Chelsea. Nottingham Forest won. But again, Nottingham Forest still are not guaranteed, because if Manchester City win, Aston Villa win, and Newcastle win, then even if Nottingham Forest beat Chelsea, they still don't win, but they get ahead of Chelsea. Now Chelsea will have to play in the Conference League, because Crystal Palace won the Europa League. And if Chelsea wants to play in the Europa League, then they'll have to win the Conference League. My oh my, I'm telling you, there's just a lot that is happening over there. Then we have a huge breaking story that is going to actually give you some shockwaves. It's going to give you some shockwaves. And here it is. And the story is that that is being shared here is on Enzo Fernandez, who has been Chelsea's captain. The last news we need now. Breaking. Enzo Fernandez has a verbal agreement with Real Madrid as per Renzo Patic, if I pronounced it well. So Enzo Fernandez seems that he has a verbal agreement with Real Madrid. And again, Real Madrid is not your Bournemouth. Real Madrid is not your Arsenal. Real Madrid is not your usual club. Real Madrid is a different club. And so when Real Madrid knocks, you know how a lot of players behave with Real Madrid is that when Real Madrid knocks, you see players just look to go there. So everything with regards to Chelsea heavily depends on the Champions League. If Chelsea don't get the Champions League, bye bye. Enzo Fernandez is gone. You know, Real Madrid have underperformed this season. They have not won the Champions League. They have not won the La Liga. They have not won the Copa del Rey. Probably this is the season where Real Madrid are leaving the season trophyless. And that is a huge catastrophe in Real Madrid by their standards. That's why Real Madrid want to get back there. And one of the players they have identified is that they want Enzo Fernandez to come in and replace Luka Modric. Real Madrid are also doing away with Rodrygo in that they have already brought Kylian Mbappe and they're looking to sign a striker. So it's a tough game because you've always known that Enzo Fernandez has behaved like he loves the club, he kisses the badge, he fights for the team, you know. But then again, you hear that even Julian Alvarez is looking for a way to get an apartment near him. There are even rumors that Enzo Fernandez's wife and himself have been sampling apartments in Madrid. And also, you know, he's from Argentina. Argentina, they speak Spanish. He's going to Spain. Spain, they speak Spanish. It's easier for him to communicate. It's easier for his children to also study there. The weather is better than the weather in London. It's looking like it's going to be Enzo Fernandez's final season at Chelsea. Signed him in 2023. And there's also a huge news that has dropped. Huge news that has also dropped is that let me just not talk about Enzo Fernandez. There's a huge news that has dropped because also Madrid Zone is actually reporting it that Real Madrid are interested in Enzo Fernandez, and you know very well Real Madrid will go all in to get Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea have sold a lot of players to Real Madrid. Rudiger has gone to Real Madrid. Hazard has gone to Real Madrid. Courtois has gone to Real Madrid, and you saw how Courtois behaved when he was going to Real Madrid. There are a lot of Chelsea players who've gone to Real Madrid recently. So Enzo Fernandez will not be the first, neither will he be the last. Chelsea, however, have made a disclaimer that all the other players are available for sale except two players, Caicedo and Cole Palmer. Caicedo and Cole Palmer have been ruled out. All the other players, if the right price is made, they will go. So Chelsea got Enzo Fernandez for 105 million British pounds. Real Madrid are set to offer around 115 million to 120 million euros, which is going to be a huge profit for Chelsea. Huge profit for Chelsea. And you just know this ownership. That is an offer they cannot refuse. You know, that thing you always say, I'm going to give you an offer that you cannot refuse. Now, that is what is looking like here when it comes to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez, you know, it's Real Madrid is the crown jewel of all players. All football players play football so that they can go to Real Madrid, especially players from South America. So you can just see, like, can Enzo Fernandez deny himself an opportunity of a lifetime to play for Real Madrid, where it's okay when you just look at the probability, it's more, the probability is high for Real Madrid to win the Champions League sooner than it is for Chelsea. For Chelsea, we win the Champions League once in a while. The last time we won was 2021. The year before that was 2012. So we've had like more of a 10-year difference. But in Real Madrid, you can't play 5 seasons without winning the Champions League. You are more likely to win the La Liga in Real Madrid. You are more likely to win the Copa del Rey in Real Madrid. You're more likely to win more and more trophies in Real Madrid. So, and is even going to earn a higher salary in Real Madrid. So, I hate to break this down for you, but everything is going to depend on the Champions League, because if you have Champions League, then Enzo Fernandez can have, probably you can try to convince Enzo to stay, but this is Real Madrid, and I've already given you the backgrounds. The language is easier for him. The country has a better weather for him. The country is more likely to get. The country is better for him overall, even for his children. The club is bigger. He's more likely to win a lot from Real Madrid. So it's inclining that Enzo Fernandez is more likely to go to Real Madrid. And yeah, that's what it is. And I want to see the stats here. You see, even when you look at the stats, players with the most progressive passes, you can see two Chelsea players, Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, in that list. And Fernandez has 197 progressive passes. And you see, Chelsea's midfielders are among the top 5, and Real Madrid wants one of them. And Real Madrid have identified that Enzo Fernandez is young and is a leader, so he's a person who's more likely to fit into the Real Madrid system. Here is what CFC PYS has said. There's interest from Real Madrid in Enzo Fernandez. Sources say Chelsea would ask for more than 107 million they paid for. So even when you look at the amount of money they paid for, Real Madrid is more likely to match that. Real Madrid is more likely to match that. And because Real Madrid need that midfielder urgently, because they have realized that you cannot rely on Camavinga and who is this player, and Bellingham and Valverde in that midfield. They need a progressive box-to-box player, and Enzo Fernandez is ticking those boxes. He has that pass that Luka Modric has. He has that. He can play in Spain. I think the football in Spain is not more intense, so it can even play into Enzo Fernandez and take him from here to here. So when you look at those factors, it's looking more like Enzo Fernandez is going to accept to join Real Madrid. And you cannot compete in the UCL without having players like Enzo Fernandez profile in your team. Selling him to Real Madrid will basically be handing them keys to La Vientena. And again, I've said football is business. Football is business. Clearlake are looking to do business. Clearlake are looking to recoup their money. And Enzo Fernandez is a player who seems to have agreed personal terms with Real Madrid. And there's no point of you denying a player that transfer move, and then he's stuck now at Chelsea and he's not giving it his all. You don't want to have unhappy players in the dressing room. You don't want to have unhappy players when you're chasing for league titles or you're in the Champions League. No. If Enzo Fernandez wants to leave, if a good offer comes for him, then so be it. Now we'll have to bring back Santos into the club to play alongside Caicedo and Lavia. And in my opinion, I have no problem with it. We'll just have to know how we are going to bring Kanich Komeka or João Felix back into the club so that they can play in that advanced role that Fernandez plays. But again, it's a tough decision that the club have to make. And we have another player that I just want to talk about here. And Chelsea are also looking to try and improve their squad in the summer. And one of those players that is actually being tipped to be one who will be coming into the club, and I want to give you this information, is that Chelsea are looking to bring in Rodrygo from Real Madrid, the player who knocked Chelsea out of the Champions League some years back. So Chelsea are looking to bring Rodrygo back into Chelsea. Okay, he was not at Chelsea. They are looking to bring Rodrygo, and because Enzo Fernandez will be going the other way, it is more like it's looking more reasonable that Chelsea are going to do something where they sell Enzo Fernandez for that amount of money, then Real Madrid sell Rodrygo to Chelsea, because it also looks like Rodrygo's time at Real Madrid is coming to an end. So Rodrygo is more likely to come to Chelsea. And would I take him? Yes, I will take him, because we don't know what's the situation with Mudrik. He's a player who can play the right wing and the left wing position. Also, we are going to probably, if we qualify for the Champions League, we are going to need an extra winger, because we cannot be playing Pedro Neto um, in 3 games a week. We know his injury record. So yes, I will not have a problem with Rodrygo. He has won the Champions League 3 times. He's a much needed experience. So Rodrygo can't play with which Rodrygo isn't efficient. Rodrygo never scores more than 15 goals. Um, Rodrygo can actually excel in a system where Enzo Maresca is going to set up. So Chelsea are considering making a bid for Rodrygo. They have started talks with his entourage. Remember, when you start to see these things, when you start to see Chelsea, Chelsea player is being rumored to go to Real Madrid, and one Real Madrid player is being rumored to come to Chelsea, you automatically know that the club is looking to adjust its books, because you see, the club wants its books to be in check, because also the building of Chelsea's new stadium is supposed to commence, I think, probably in 2026. Chelsea will have to move probably out of Stamford Bridge, or purchase a new ground and start building a new stadium from scratch. Uh, that's also something that is being talked about. And then I want to talk about the final thing, which is going to give us a preview of what has just happened. What happened yesterday? And what happened yesterday is that we had a player leaving the Premier League, probably one of the best midfielders that the Premier League has seen, and that player is Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is leaving Manchester City. He played his final game at Manchester City. He's been a player who played at Chelsea. He's been one of the best players in the league. He's a player who has contributed to the growing success at Manchester City. Played their last game. Manchester City won that game 3-1, and now Manchester City are looking to try and also get a player to replace De Bruyne. And this is going to give us a lot of problems, because we also have players like Cole Palmer in the team, and probably Manchester City might even be looking at players like Cole Palmer to replace De Bruyne. Manchester City won their game 3-1. Just to add on to it, Manchester City won their game 3-1. That has seen them in a very, very strong position. We can see that Guardiola is even crying here because De Bruyne is leaving, and De Bruyne has been in Manchester City longer than Pep. So all the players that Pep started with, De Bruyne was one of them. He's now gone, and he was the last one in that picture. So Raheem Sterling went last season. Now De Bruyne has gone, and that was a player who Pep worked with for close to 10 years, and he's looking like he has just left Manchester City. And here is the running. Just see how crazy it is. Manchester City with 68 points, Newcastle United with 66 points, Chelsea with 66 points, Aston Villa with 66 points, and Nottingham Forest with 65 points. Now, here, let's just be honest. It's more likely that Manchester City will qualify, automatically guaranteed. Manchester City will qualify. Newcastle against Everton. Everton have nothing to play for, but Everton won their last game. So probably, we don't know. Probably, but Newcastle are at home, so they are more likely to win that game. So Newcastle are also looking like they are going to qualify. Now, the question is between Chelsea and Aston Villa. Aston Villa are traveling away at Old Trafford. And the Old Trafford game will depend. If Manchester United probably win the Europa League, they can probably try to just let it go and already go on holiday. If they fail, then they will be like, at least let's leave our fans with something. And in my opinion, that game might end up with a draw, or Villa can win. But if it ends up with a draw, then Chelsea will just need a draw to qualify. So, because I'm going to see the Chelsea game is going to be a very, very tough game. I'm going to do a preview on that. I'm going to talk about that game extensively, but here is the running. Look at the points. Look at three teams on same number of points, and we have one team 2 points ahead. And if only you beat Brentford and Ipswich, if only we beat Ipswich at home, would have had 68 points. If we beat Brentford away because we had an opportunity, Jackson just missed a lot of chances, would have had close to 70 points. If we have 70 points, we go, the Nottingham Forest game becomes irrelevant. It becomes irrelevant. We don't even have to bother about it. We will just be here preparing for the summer. Even if we lose to Nottingham Forest, that would mean nothing because we would have already qualified for the Champions League, and we would have qualified by finishing probably even third. But we didn't beat Ipswich at home. We didn't beat Brentford away. That's what has brought us here. So thank you very much for staying with us in this preview, and we are looking forward to do more videos with you. See you in our next video. Bye bye.